Where was he from?
Didn't say east, I think.
And what day was he here?
Oh, let it go, knife is.
Oh, how precious. Someone played Dragon Age. Welcome, my lords and ladies. I am Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and here we are. The Rings of Power have arrived. And it is as gloriously bad as we knew it was going to be. This is a spoiler-filled review. As promised, I am watching this so you don't have to. How's this going to work? We're going to go through it. We're going to stop periodically, and I'm going to make comments. Then there'll be a small break because I have to go watch episode 2. As I start this video, I've only watched the first one. When we get to the middle, I'll take a break, go watch it, and then, well, for you, it's going to be half a second, but for me, it's probably going to be an hour or more as I go off and watch episode 2, and then we make it all one nice little tidy shit sandwich. What can I say so far? It's a disaster. You'll hear familiar names. You'll hear references without context because, it's based on the appendices of Lord of the Rings. They say names, they mention moments, but they give no context. And oh my, even my base level knowledge of the lore, they get so much wrong. I've been a little educated by some friends. I am not a hardcore lore guy. I'm a casual fan, but I've been told things. I've read up a little bit. Oh, the acting is abominable. Morfydd Clark has the range. Well, she has the range of Brie Larson. Let's be honest. This chick has no range whatsoever. She cannot act. She cannot emote. She has one facial expression, scowl, or wide-eyed scowl. Variations of scowl. That's Morfydd Clark. Everybody else, bland, boring. The dialogue. Oh, the dialogue. It's something to behold. We have not been denied some of the worst dialogue ever. Because who wrote this? McKay and Payne, that's who wrote this. They are the writers of this first episode. Maybe episode 2. I have yet to see that part yet. Oh, what else do we got? Oh, I'm sorry. Those of you who were going, oh, it's so great to look at. No, it looks like shit. This show looks like shit. Complete and utter shit. The effects are terrible. Excuse me. Dry throat. The laughing. I've been laughing hard. The effects are atrocious. The costuming is abysmal. The hairstyling, laughable. The music. But Howard Shore's involved. No, he is not. No, he is not. The music in this. Oh, and you'll hear it throughout the clips I have laced through this review. The music. Oh, it's like somebody tried to be more John Williams than Howard Shore and failed spectacularly in both ways. The direction, the choreography, what little choreography there is so far is terrible. The direction is terrible. And overall, so far, episode 1, it's really boring. It's eye-rollingly boring. Anyway, enough about the pregame. Let's just dive right in, shall we?
Stop! Stop, don't! Stop!
The leaks were true. This whole thing begins with Galadriel being bullied. Well, almost begins, because now, we're not trying to copy Peter Jackson. Then why did you start with a black screen and Galadriel doing a monologue, just like Kate Blanchett did in Fellowship? This thing begins in the dumbest way possible. Again, Galadriel being bullied by other elves because she's a loner. She seems to be a little bit of an outcast. Doesn't play well with others. She doesn't play well with others for this entire episode. At least they were consistent in that. Galadriel's making a boat, and the other one of the ringleader of the other elven children. Aren't you finished yet? Even you can finish this. But your boat's not going to float. My boat will not float. It will sail. And then it unfolds into a swan and it sails. But then those mean children throw rocks at her precious swan boat. And she's yelling, no, you stop, you bullies, you stop. And they proceed to sink her boat, after which she charges the ringleader, and they fight until her brother shows up. The only brother mentioned, although she had other brothers. I think this might even be the fake brother. I don't remember hearing his name mentioned once in all of this. Just her brother. They don't even use his name. That's the funny part. No name mentioned. Because guess what? They don't have the rights to those names. Because that's first stage. Well, this brother sits her down, tells her to buck up, Buttercup. It's all right. The stone may sink, but the boat floats and the stone sinks into the depths, and you have to watch the reflections and light and the this and that. And it's some wishy-washy stone sinking, light on the water, boat floating bullshit. It's really a lot of horrible dialogue. And she asks the question, how do I tell the difference between when to float or where the light leads? And he whispers something to her. We'll come back to that at the end of the episode, because that's the biggest slap in the face, perhaps, in this entire episode, honestly. And maybe you'll agree with me when we get there, maybe you won't. We'll find out. Then after he whispers to her, he says, now come, Galadriel. We must go home. Mother and father are waiting. And they cross the hill, and there's Valinor in all its glory. The two trees, only seen, not even mentioned, because they can't say Laurelin and Telperion, because they don't have the rights to mention anything in the first stage. They allude. You could say Morgoth, because then the monologue continues, and you see the shadow of Morgoth behind the two trees, which were burned down, which was the start of the war, and how now the elves went to war. The elves didn't have a word for death, but we quickly learned them once we went to war against Morgoth. And you get this battle scene where I guess I don't know if her brother dies there. They don't mention him dying there, because they mentioned he was hunting the greatest of Morgoth's servants, the sorcerer Sauron. They can't say Maier, because guess what? They don't have the rights to say any of that. No rights. So they call him the sorcerer. And there's Sauron. Urgh. His goal was to hunt down Sauron after Morgoth was defeated. Notice they don't mention anything. And oh, by the way, during the monologue, this scene, I was right. No dragon. No dragon. I was right. Anyways. Then Galadriel mourns her brother's death, talks about the mark of Sauron on his chest, which I have been told doesn't exist in this period of time. Doesn't exist. The mark of Sauron does not exist, I've been told by lore guys. And then she takes his dagger, which is basically now her penis. There, I said it. That dagger is her penis. Her 12-inch long. And she took up his quest to find Sauron. And after the war is over now, centuries have passed, because they can't be specific about time here, because they're crunching it all together. And Galadriel and her band, Commander Galadriel, well, we're going to call her, what should we call her? We could call her War Galadriel. We could call her Galadriel. We'll go with War Galadriel for now, because that was a common term we all kind of came to at the same time. Other people using Galadriel. I'm going to call her War Galadriel for the moment. There'll be many names that will pop up as we go through this. It'll be fun. Anywho, War Galadriel and her last band have gone to the Northern Wastes. Warrior of the Northern Wastes. And there she is scaling that mountain. We've seen it a million times in the trailer, and her troops are watching, and her troops have a look of disdain for her because they don't like her very much. They don't like her at all. And she's just shown to be this scowling, sourpussed, insufferable bitch. Galadriel, War Galadriel, is an insufferable bitch. As I said, Morfydd Clark has one expression, scowl, and variations of scowl. And I am filled with frustration. That's the kindest thing I can say whenever I look at her on this screen. I go like this every time. I'm whinging. I'm cringing because she's difficult to look at. Frankly, she's not that pretty either. They are now traversing these wastes because she believes the final fortress is there. They're hunting her prey, and they finally come to this cavern. Or they don't come to a cavern, I'm sorry. They're traversing the wastes, and they're saying, "Oh, we should have found it by now," but oh look, no, we're already here. Nothing is earned in this. I'm gonna put the part. So far, nothing is ever earned in any of this at all. There we are. They enter this place, this fortress, this abandoned fortress, and there's something lurking. And Galadriel and this dude she's with, if he had a name, I already forgot it. Her questioning, we'll call him questioning lieutenant, who's questioning her, rightfully so, because apparently she has ignored all orders to return because she knows better. She's a whammons. They find a forge that Sauron had been there working on something, and it's a sign that it's the mark of Sauron's pointing orcs and others to follow him someplace. She insists they must go, but meanwhile, while they're arguing, a snow troll attacks. Yeah, snow troll. They've made that up, apparently. Now, everybody, all her other elven soldiers, her band, they get the floor wiped. They get beat the crap out of by this snow troll. It's owning all of them. Bad CGI, picking them up, throwing them against the wall. It's all there until War Galadriel's there to save the day, baby. Where do I start? I could spend forever on this scene. Oh, we will tomorrow on This Is Mordor Country. I'm sure we're going to go over this one for a while. I'll be as brief as I can because we can't stay on this forever, but there is so much wrong with this. First of all, running up the sword blade. Flying around, getting the size. She's stunning and brave. She's the strong. Everybody else is weak. Now, lore-wise, Galadriel is the strongest. But actual Galadriel doesn't need a sword to deal with a troll. Flick, boosh, you're gone. This War Galadriel is a joke. You saw it in the clip there. First of all, the direction and choreography, it's as if they actually filmed the whole fight scene and then chopped it up and pieced it together wrong. Cut here, cut there. Wait, how did she get over there? Wait, she was going like this before. Now she's like this, and she's flying around, and she's hitting the hits, and she's just perfect and great. Everybody else is a loser. It's so bad. And the music. You heard the music. What is this? What is this? And prior to this, the dialogue, this cheesy, over melodramatic dialogue. The darkness is here. I can feel no heat in my hands. No, the darkness is taking your heat. It's taking the heat from our torches. This is a joke. This is a joke, and this fight scene is a complete joke. You see, it is a joke. Oh my goodness. Well, as War Galadriel easily dispatches the troll, and after it's done, she says, "We must now continue forward. Our enemy has gone this way, farther north. We must go." But then, rightfully so, questioning lieutenant and the other guys go, "Yeah, no, we're done. We are done, you insufferable bitch. And she's looking at them. Oh, I'm sorry. She's ugly to me. This woman is ugly to me. Both in real-world personality and her looks. I'm sorry. Ugh. I don't like anything about this woman. You must now go home. We have to go home. And she relents. And now we first get to the title screen. Now, this was all prologue. This was the prologue. Oh. Maybe in the future I'll stick with A plot, B plot, C plot, but for this first episode, maybe in episode 2, we're just going to go along. Scene break. Dirty goddamn hippie time.
Clear and clear.
That is you smell, my dude. You stink. You dirty goddamn little hippies. You stink. You're filthy. Every last one of you. You're filthy. You stink. All of you. Enter the proto-hobbits, the Harfoots, because they can't use the term hobbit because they don't own it, because also hobbits didn't exist in the Second Age. Fan fiction. This is fan fiction. I haven't said it yet in this review. I'm going to say it now. $1 billion fan fiction. Here come the full-on original. This is our first wave of original characters. We begin here. These two goobers, hunters, men who are hunters with these moose antlers on their back. What am I looking at? I'm looking at $58 million an episode is what I'm looking at. Yeah. And yeah, these guys, they're complaining there's no food. They're having trouble hunting. And then this one goober, the younger goober, says, what was that? And the older goober goes, oh, them's them Harfoots you hearing about here. Them's Harfoots. They're little devil creatures or something. Be wary of them. Let's get out of here. Woo! And they wander off. And then the freaking little hippies. I'm not even calling they're hippie. I'm gonna call them hippies. These dirty little hippies start to pop up everywhere. And they're gone. We can come out now. And they appear in their little village, which they can hide inside of trees and rocks and holes because they're dirty goddamn hippies. And they go, and then here comes Lenny Henry, Static Burrows. Yeah, that's you smell. Stinky little bastard. And it's stupid. It is so lame and silly stupid. You heard the music. That music persists. Again, terrible. And I'm not there yet. I'm getting out of myself. It's a later scene. You start hearing somebody go, Nori! Nori! Nori, where are you? And Nori, our Frodo Bilbo stand-in. Oh, don't worry. Nori's fine. But she's with the children. Yes, she's with the children. They'll be fine. Nori's there. That's why I'm worried, because Nori's a troublemaker. She has wanderlust. You can catch that. You know that reference if you're familiar with that one. I snuck that in there on purpose. She's a dreamer. And they flash out to Nori. She's beyond the boundaries. Bunch of kids and her fat friend. Yeah, her fat friend. This is so bad. They go through a fence and they find a field of berries, and they're picking berries, and picking berries, and they're all stuffing their faces. No. And then they find a wolf print, and Nori's all afraid now. And then again, here's your fat friend. You've been stuffing her face with berries. No. So stupid. They look terrible, and it's stupid. And they have to run away because the wolves, and then it cuts out to the bad CGI wolf creature. And they go home, and that's it for this scene. Because now, back to the elves. Back to the elves. Here we go. we come upon Elrond. I guess it's Elrond. We're gonna call him Elrond for lack of a better name I haven't made up yet. Coiffed Elrond. We call him Coiffed Elrond. Coiffed Elrond. He's sitting in a tree writing a speech, and here come a couple of elf maidens summoning him to or telling him he's not invited to the Lord's meeting, but your friend is here, and his friend is here. Oh, who's his friend? Oh, it's War Galadriel, back from the northern wastelands. And basically let the affirmation begin. You know, you're so great, Galadriel. I love you so much. Rolling the R's. I said they roll the R's. It's pretentious as hell. And she's busy pressuring him to give her an audience with Gil-galad, the High King. And he's trying to tell her, okay, listen, you're not in the best graces right now. You're about to be given an honor. You're gonna be allowed to get some glory, but he's pissed at you because you kept not following his orders. And here's her response.
Test him again. You may find him less receptive than you might have hoped.
Are you going to arrange an audience or not?
Insufferable bitch you very much. He's trying to tell her, you're not going to get to hunt Sauron anymore. You're being given a gift. You're going to be allowed. You could be allowed to go back to Valinor. That's her gift. That's her glory. And she just, you look at that moment and it's basically, you bitch. I have to get my way. The High King, I don't care. I have to get my way. You're gonna make sure I get that audience, don't you? I hate this actress. I hate War Galadriel. We are only barely halfway through this episode of the entire first episode, the entire season. I already hate War Galadriel. I hate her with a passion. This is something already that you're gonna notice. We go forward here. None of these characters are likable. They're all unlikable to the T. Oh, all right. We cut back to the Harfoots, dirty hippies, and I don't know who diversity hippie is here. They don't say if it's Nori's mom. I don't know, but she's lecturing her. We heard it in the trailers. The rest of the world has their stuff. We have our little world here, and we're safe. We're fine. And notice here she's saying that I caught this. Look, more diversity. Asian hippie right there. There you go. Diverse hippies. The diverse hippies are safe, but Nori believes there's got to be more out there, and she wants more. No. It's annoying. And when we're gonna blip right back to the elves and Gil-galad ceremony, and you can see now he's saying Elrond's speech, quaffed Elrond's speech, and reveals, like I just said a moment ago, your reward for your valiant efforts in hunting down the remainder of the enemy is you get to go home. You get to go to Valinor. Now we're going to go into a bit of where they are massively destroying the lore again to suit their pathetic War Galadriel needs. During this whole scene, War Galadriel, she's clearly upset. She's upset. She doesn't want it. I don't want it. And she's just got that insufferable scowl on her face while Gil-galad's crowning her glory. And we're going to cut to a celebration after this. There's fireworks. It's all kind of really dumb and stupid. And they're in, I guess it's a monument graveyard to the dead. They've carved elven likenesses into trees. And Quaffed Elrond and War Galadriel are going to have a conversation about, well, first of all, here it is in all its glory. This was clear. This was in the trailer. And it was actually right there. It wasn't from separate parts. There wasn't more in between. It was real. This is real. I can't believe this dialogue exists in this show, that it actually was the real deal.
I am grateful you have not known evil as I have. But you have not seen what I've seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen what I have seen.
Lore breaking. We're going to take a moment here, and this entire scene, everything about it is filled with lore breaking. We've been over this in previous videos, discussions on streams. Galadriel did not fight in this Second Age war. She didn't fight. Elrond did. Previously and now. Elrond has seen war. Galadriel did not. She came to Middle-earth to be a ruler, not to hunt Sauron. So she hasn't seen jack shit compared to what Elrond has seen. Elrond has seen the real deal. Second, they go on and on in this scene about death, about this. How is this my reward? How can I go back to Valinor with this darkness in my heart, with this heavy weight, knowing that I did not complete my brother's mission? Lore dictates. J.R.R. Tolkien explains, when an elf dies, it's not permadeath. Their ethereal soul will go to the halls of Mandos. It'll linger there for a bit in Valinor, and then it's reconstituted into a corporeal form that elf will live again. Galadriel, War Galadriel here, is so desperate concerning everything around her brother and his mission. Hey, genius, if we're playing by actual rules, your brother's already back in Valinor. Your brother's there waiting for you. Oh, let us also forget, she's so desperate. We're halfway through the episode. We've had all this stuff with Galadriel going on, War Galadriel. No Celeborn, no daughter. No mention of her family or the rest of her family. Nothing. Nothing at all. I said this a few moments ago. They don't have access to the lore, but they are ignoring everything in order to push. I'm lonely, war-torn, angry Galadriel. I don't have anything. All I have is my hatred for Sauron. All I have is my mission. I don't have anything. Death. How can I go forward? All these elves, they look at all these different monuments, sculptures into the trees. All these dead ones. How can we go forth knowing what they sacrificed? They're all back in Valinor. They're all there, waiting for you to come home. Oh, it's so bad. And then we get that horrible line, put up your sword, Galadriel. Without it, what am I? Oh, it's all horrible. And she bitches at him, and they finish bitching at each other. And then we cut, and now, diversity elf. It's time for more fanfic self-insertion characters to be introduced that have no relevance in actual Tolkien lore. None whatsoever. Here comes, what the hell is his name? Arondir. Here comes Arondir. But as he's walking into town, I've been waiting for this because I thought I saw it in the trailer, but I wanted this nice high-res 1080p screen cap just to be sure. Notice the back of those arrows. Look at those nice little plastic ends. You dumb bastards. Did you think we weren't going to notice that? I can't wait for Shadversity to lock onto that little bit. Probably spend 20 minutes going off on it. Those are plastic modern day back for knocking the arrow. It's a plastic end. But okay, moving on. So here comes Perfect Fade Diversity Elf Arondir. He's in the Southlands. He's part of the Elven Guard that patrols that area. And I showed you, it was my opening video for this. Those Southlanders don't like those elves. Now, don't you think? Now, he's got a buddy with him. He's white, but he's left out there to hang out. Gee, how subtle are you Patrick McKay and J.D. Payne. Or is it J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay? Whatever. They're two twins that share the same brain. How subtle are you in your writing of this episode as this black elf in there gets the angry stares and then gets basically a racial slur thrown at him? You're not so subtle, you assholes. Oh, so stupid. So dumb. And then we get a shot of his paramour, diversity Persian chick. I don't even remember this chick's name, and I don't care. They may say her name like twice, and they mutter it. Again, lots of shitty dialogue, lots of shitty exposition about, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, we're not evil. Oh, get out of here. Oh, blah, blah, we don't like you. Get your pointy ears and your pointy feet out of here. And it's just, and you're supposed to see, oh, look how graceful he is. He shows restraint. Arondir shows restraint by not kicking the kid's ass, and he learns about poison off to the east. But then he goes outside because there's his baby mama. It's his baby mama. We all know that the kid that's gonna be introduced in a scene or so, it's his baby mama. That's their kid. But she tells the lie that the husband ran off, and he hates elves too. The little boy he's a teenager. He hates elves. Oh, he's a bigot. Also stupid. Anyway, the Arondir gets a little bit of news. He has a little bit of a talk with her. Talk about, oh, you got these special flower seeds. I haven't seen these flowers since I was young. Dude, what are you? Several hundred, maybe 1,000 years old? You haven't seen these flowers in all this time, but she found them. Oh, isn't that great? Hurts the brain. He goes back and leaving town with the other elf, and the other elf's basically jibing him. I know what you're doing. I know you're effing that girl, basically. Oh, leave me alone. Ah, ha, ha. We're going to go do our patrol. And then he's back on his end of his patrol, and he climbs up to look around. Again, cheesy-ass landscape. I'm not impressed at all. His commander basically says, Gil-galad says war's over. We all get to go home. We're done. And, of course, now he's sad because he doesn't get to keep his baby mama. And they say this really stupid thing, again, breaking lore about how can you do this? How can you have love between a woman who's a human? It never works. It ends in disaster. And it never works. I don't know. Elrond worked. Remember Elrond? Half elf, half human. Chose to be an elf. Went full elf. Lore breaking. And obviously now, like I said, Diversity Arondir, he's sad. He's got to go say goodbye to his baby mama. And he ditches his command. He ditches his troops to go say goodbye. And we come back, and like I said, we go to baby mama's house. She's a healer. And her son also sort of learns it, and she comes out and she chides him for being careless with the ingredients. But then here comes the diversity elf, and again, like I said, he shows elf hate, even though that's his dad. He doesn't know it. Oh, it's going to be a great revelation when it's his dad later. Like we all didn't already figure that out from the moment we see it. It's so plain as day. Even if we didn't have the leaks, it's obvious. It's freaking obvious. Persian lady, diversity Persian lady and diversity black elf have their little conversation out front. I'm leaving, but I have to see you. I want you to come with me. I'll do this for you. Blah, blah, blah. But then they're interrupted. Dude has come with a cow. He hopes she can help heal it. Cow wandered off, ate something bad, has nasty, and then Arondir comes around. Oh, hello, hi. Let me see the cow. Squirts out the udder, and the milk's gone bad. The milk's gone bad. And now he needs to go investigate. And of course, she's going to have to go with him because that's her hometown, apparently. It's mind-numbing. And then we cut this stupid kid with racist friend. And they're digging around in a barn where somebody's got a cache of crap. And they pull out this blade of Morgoth or Sauron. It's got Sauron's symbol on it. Ooh, and it's blazing hot. It's reacting to him. I don't know. Who the hell knows? It's also painfully stupid. And again, this thing just kind of drags along, setting up these worthless characters. Back to characters that are their characters in name only. We return to the elves, Gil-galad admits to Elrond that there is evil still out there, and they're going to keep looking, but they have to get rid of Galadriel because she'll only make it worse. Whatever the hell that means. I don't know. It hurts your brain. It's bad dialogue, bad storytelling. But now, Elrond is given a great honor. He's going to work with Celebrimbor, the greatest elven smith ever, Celebrimbor. Here's Celebrimbor in his muumuu, in his own quaff. Doesn't say a word. He's just there. He gets no dialogue yet. He's been given a great task. Something he's gonna undertake. We go see the dwarves. That's what they're going to go see the dwarves. We know that already. At least I can guess that's where they're going. I haven't watched episode 2 yet, remember, but I guess that's where they're going. Because they're gonna get the mithril. Oh, we're going through this right now. We're not stopping. We're keeping going back to the Harfoots, where basically Sadok Burrows yells at Nori for being inquisitive. Don't you be inquisitive, you nosy little bitch. That's basically it. It's a 2-minute scene of don't be inquisitive, you nosy bitch, and then Nori wanders off. And now, we're at the climax of the episode. The ship to Valinor, the reward, they're through the sundering seas, they're almost there. Apparently they move really quickly. It's really fast, just traveling great distances at light speed. We're already getting that. We've already kind of seen that people are getting places pretty quick in this. Galadriel got back from those northern wastes pretty quick. Oh, they're going to get to the town. That multiversity couple is going to get to the town pretty quickly. And now they're already at Valinor. They're already at the borders of Valinor. Because now they're on the ship, and they mentioned this thing earlier on about the Song of Valinor, and once you get there, you hear it, and all the other elves suddenly hear it, and they're all singing in really lame crap. But Galadriel's not singing because she's torn. As they have their armor stripped off, the clouds are parting in really bad CGI. And here's the path of light to Valinor, and let us go in there and be one with it. And they're all being sucked in, and they're singing and reaching out, Galadriel, take my hand. You have to come in. But meanwhile, at the same time, here comes the comet. The comet is here. It's the wizard. He's on his way, and we see as the comet, as we saw in the trailer, coming across the skies, cutting across, and everybody's watching. Gil-galad sees it. Nori sees it. Some Ents, and maybe some Ent wives see it. Oh, and then our diversity couple, after witnessing the destruction of her town, who she's been upset because he's looking at her like she might be evil, and they might be evil. Oh no, is there trouble in Neverland between the diversity relationship? We will find out in this CW show as we go forward. But then the comet streaks by, and it crashes into the ground. Meanwhile, back on the ship, War Galadriel is torn. She doesn't want to take the hand, and then this.
How am I to know which lights to follow?
Sometimes we cannot know until we have touched the darkness.
Remember, I said we would come back to what he whispered to her. We cannot know which lights to choose until sometimes we touch the darkness. We knew this was coming. I made a video about it, talked about it in streams. They don't understand Tolkien. Tolkien made it clear. You cannot win by touching the darkness, no matter what your intentions are. Here they are saying, you have to touch the darkness in order to do better good. You have to see how close you can come to being bad before you can be ultimate good. At least that's what I see already. This isn't Tolkien. Right then and there, this isn't Tolkien. And what does Galadriel do? What does War Galadriel do? She decides she can't go to Valinor. She cannot leave her 12-inch penis behind. She grabs her dick and she jumps overboard as the ship gets absorbed or passes through the veil. And there she is in the middle of the ocean, the sea, the Sundering Sea. She's middle of the of a body of water, no land in sight, nowhere to go. That was really smart. Well, we know what's coming. Halbrand. Oh, I'm sorry, Sauron. No, wait. We're at the end. Gil-galad, he's standing there. A leaf falls. He turns it over, has a vision that the leaf is filled with rot. Darkness is coming. And then Nori, who was closest to the impact of the comet, discovers our wizard, who's probably going to be Gandalf. And episode. Okay, I'm off to watch episode 2. I'll see you in a couple seconds. It's going to be about an hour more for me now. Bye.
1 hour later.
Hello. Episode 2. What can I say? Oh, there's stuff to say, and I can make a fair assessment of things now that I've got both these episodes under my belt. This show is destined to fail for a lot of reasons, but one among them, they're trying to tell too many plots at once. The introduction of all these extra fanfic, self-insertion, original characters that they've created just for this show is diluting it down to generic fantasy. They might have had a chance if they had just focused on Galadriel, Elrond, and something to do with Numenor later on. If they had stayed laser focused on that, they might have had a chance, but no. The introduction of the dirty hippie hobbits, I'm going to call them hobbits because they're hobbits. Harfoots, hobbits. A diversity couple and all they're going to go through. The Dwarven Kingdom with a Prince Durin who shouldn't even be there, and his fat bitch wife. And some shit they've got going on. It's just, whoa, it's too much. To quote Bilbo, too little butter spread over too much bread. Spread thin over too much bread. That's the line. I butchered it, I know, but give me a break. I just watched 2 episodes of Rings of Power. I'm allowed a mistake on a line. Anyway, we're going to blow through this. This episode, a lot of walking and talking, a lot of swimming and talking, a lot of standing and talking, a lot of no talking, and just doing things that I guess are going to lead to things. A whole lot of nothing made into something. And a lot of exposition. And we're going into CW territory here, guys. Let's get this over with. I want to put this to bed for the day because my brain hurts.
It's not hot. Fine, it's not hot. Doesn't change the fact that there's a giant in there. She's making that face on that face, Nori. Nori!
We begin with Galadriel at sea. She swims off into the night. Done. Moving on. Nori has found our crashed wizard. Yes, it's the wizard. And as she's going to check it out, her berry-munching fat friend shows up, and you saw the clip. While Nori's investigating, she goes, Nori. I just kept saying while watching this, shut up, bitch. Shut up. The Harfoots are completely unlikable. Nori is a forced I'm innocent character because we get a whole lot more Nori in this episode. She's basically, I'm so wonderful because I have such a positive outlook on everything. I want to help. I feel this is my destiny to help the wizard. We're going to talk about that. It's not insufferable. It's just suffocating because it's just shut up. Shut up, you dirty little hippie. Shut up. Well, she basically scrambles over to the wizard. She's not burned. The fire apparently isn't hot. she pokes him in the face while berry munching bitch up there is yelling at her to stop. And Wizard wakes up, grabs her. There's a blah, and that's the best. That's how I can describe it. Wind power, because apparently when the wizard speaks, he releases his abilities to affect nature. He eventually passes out, and they have an argument about helping him. And again, she keeps going, it's my job. I feel he crashed here. I'm the one that has to save him. That's the eventual whole conversation in a nutshell. And the other one's going, we need to leave it alone. I just want to eat berries. Can't actually say that, but that's what my inner dialogue is telling me. I just want to stuff my face with berries. And eventually Nori guilts her into helping her move the wizard. They go back to camp. They steal a bunch of stuff while Saffron, whatever the hell his name is, looks around bewildered. And then they are wheeling the wizard to someplace where he can just take it easy and recuperate. And then there's some forced comedy as they lose control of the wagon and it goes away. Again, forced comedy. Didn't laugh. Don't care. Again, one more conversation about how it's her destiny. He fell near her. She has to do it. The other one's saying, no, you don't. Yes, I do. No, you don't. You're going to bring trouble on us all. Don't worry. I have to help him. Blah, 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 blah. End. Moving on. Multiversity couple decides to investigate the burned out village. There's no bodies. There's dead animals. Everything's gone. They talk about maybe with an earthquake. No, an earthquake doesn't dig a giant hole here we find in this house. Black Elf Arondir says, I'm going to go investigate like an idiot all by myself in a hole where I have nowhere to go. And Persian Whammons is going to go off and warn people. Done. Moving on again. We now return to Elrond. Elrond is in Eregion, which is where he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be there. He's with Celebrimbor. We're going to see Celebrimbor for literally 2 seconds. I said this a long time ago in other videos. Again, to add to what I said in the previous section of this part of the review, laser focus on specific stories. Celebrimbor should have been the center of an entire season. He could have been your central character. Should have been your central character. He is the Forger of the Rings. But no, Celebrimbor's in here for literally maybe 8 minutes. We get a scene in Eregion where they do a lore dump. I don't know if this is accurate. It's beyond my current knowledge. Lore guys, help me out. We'll cover this on Saturday during This Is Mordor Country. The lore guys there, they'll catch me up, tell me whether I'm right or not. Talking about stuff that was forged in the first stage, things that Morgoth stole, things that maybe almost turned Morgoth to good, but he couldn't look at anymore because he saw his evil in it. I don't know. I don't have that level of knowledge. I'm just saying they talk about that. Whether it's true or not, you guys tell me. I'm open to being informed. Then Celebrimbor reveals his master plan. He wants to build a super duper bigger than ever, biggest, bestest, baddest ever forge. With fire that burns hotter than the tongue of a dragon and as bright as a star. But he doesn't have the manpower. But he needs to make it by spring. For some reason, don't know, not going to tell you. There's a thing going on with this show so far. They tell you a bunch of stuff, but they don't really have connective tissue to what kind of story they're trying to tell. Again, there's a lot of different plots going on, and eventually we know they lead to the creation of the Rings of Power. But these are flimsy connections, and these characters are all unlikable at this point, each and every one of them. And they almost had me liking a character, but then they had to CW it up. We're getting to that in a minute. Well, now Elrond says, listen, I can come up with a workforce for you. Let's go visit the dwarves in Khazad-dûm, a.k.a. Moria. They go take a walk. They get there pretty damn quick. Boop, teleport. All right, we're there. Again, throughout this episode, all these things, I guess, are happening simultaneously. Again, the problem with bad storytelling and not accounting for time is things are seemingly happening simultaneous when some things are happening immediately and other things are happening days apart. Specifically, going from Eregion to Khazad-dûm, or How long is Galadriel at sea? We're getting to Galadriel in a minute. The direction and plotting of this episode, everything is so spread out. Probably in future interviews, I'm gonna go straight the plots like I did with Wheel of Time, and then I'll go through each one like that in order to keep it all collected. But for today, we're barrel-assing through this. They come to Khazad-dûm, and then we're not trying to copy Peter Jackson. This is our own. Oh, really?
Oh, if I know Durin, he'll do far more than that. He'll welcome us with open arms. Ram's horns blaring. Tables filled with salted pork, and enough malt beer to fill the Arduin.
No. That doesn't sound eerily similar to Gimli's description of how they're going to be welcomed in Moria back in Fellowship. No. Get out of here. Get out. No, we're doing our own thing. No. They knock on the door. Dwarves say, go away. Elrond tries again, says, I'm Elrond, friend of Prince Durin. No, go away. Well, he then mutters something in Dwarvish, and they are forced to let him in. And then tells Celebrimbor, go on. Go back to Region. I'll catch up later. I'll set this all up. You do you. I'll be good. Let the politician handle his deal. Then we get the nice long stretch of, look at Khazad-dûm. There it is. Isn't that nice? Isn't this awesome CG? Then Elrond is ushered into a room where a bunch of dwarves are jeering at him. And here's where, I want to say F you to this show for a minute. I love dwarves. I've always loved dwarves all my life. I've played them in certain situations and games and RPGs and tabletop. I like dwarves. Dwarves are fun. I enjoy them a lot. And I want to like dwarves whenever I see them. And F this show for teasing me. And for a minute, making me like Prince Durin IV. Who, again, lore-wise, shouldn't even exist. According to what I've read, there's never two Durins at the same time. When one King Durin dies, the next one takes over, takes on the name, becomes the next Durin. He shouldn't be there. But goddamn, they almost made me like him. Comes in with his honor guard. Apparently, what Elrond has done is initiated a test of strength, and if he wins, he gets to request anything from the prince. And they're basically going to crack rocks with sledgehammers. All right, going forward, what's next? Let's see. Checking my side here. Okay, yeah, Nori. Where now again, crappy narrative, crappy flow of this show. Let's go back to the dirty little hippie as she goes to check on the wizard. She just keeps talking at him because he's mumbling to himself. He's scratching stuff on a stone. You can't really tell what it is. He starts drawing shit in the dirt with a stick. He's trying to communicate. He can't talk. Every time he speaks, he lets out his abilities. He's like, no, it's me. Remember me? It's me. What does that mean? To say it's me? He's been unconscious the whole time you've known him. Literally, 20 seconds before that. How can you say it's me? Stupid. Terrible writing. Terrible grasp of situations. She calms him down, and she gives him food while yammering at him like an annoying little twit. And then, oh, God. You dirty little hippie! There's only one way to describe this. Filthy little hobbitses. You filthy, dirty, hippie hobbitses. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, gross. Somebody's got a weird-ass fetish on this show. Oh, that is nasty. Ugh. The wizard proceeds to eat the snails too, but the shells everything, and she manages to somehow make a small connection until Barry Muncher comes around, starts yammering at her that there's been an accident while he's been drawing stuff in the sand, and she can't understand. They're trying to set up for a festival back at Filthy Hippieville. And her father, who we've all been lovingly calling Hobo Baggins. I love that. Hobo Baggins. Hobo Baggins breaks his foot in a really nasty way. That's nasty. Oh, I've broken my foot before, and I've nearly broken my foot in that same exact manner. Didn't quite break it, but I tore a hell of a lot of tendons in my right foot. Still not quite. It clicks now. Since then, it clicks. She has to come back. Stupid scene of, can he migrate? That's what they call it when they're going to move. They're going to migrate. What are you? What are you, a flock of geese? Ugh. And now they're all concerned that he's not going to be able to migrate because they have to run soon or whatever because they're dirty fucking hobo hippies. That's what they are. Vagabond hippies. Finally, we're back to Galadriel. Castaway Galadriel. Now it's, instead of War Galadriel, we're Castaway Galadriel. She's swimming and swimming until she spots a makeshift raft with a bunch of humans on there. Bunch of humans. Bunch of people who look like shit. But they're very diverse. They're very diverse. She tries to cover her ears. They quickly find out she's an elf. And then she goes from being meek to insufferable bitch authoritarian again. And they all start yelling at each other, but apparently it's all comes to nothing because they're attacked by the sea serpent that destroyed the human's ship. And of course, then you see Halbrand. Halbrand is there. Or Sauron. Halbrand is Sauron. Halbrand is Sauron. Sauron is Halbrand. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. And he immediately, what's great about this is knowing that we know he's Sauron, he immediately plays on her fears and concerns of the enemy, of the orcs, of this guy. He immediately starts pulling those strings. And if you know what, you can tell, you already know what's coming, you can see it's right there. There's your first thing, immediately grabs her attention. But they don't have much time because the serpent attacks, destroys the raft, and then you get this high production value. Yeah. She's swimming in place. You can see she's swimming and she's not really moving. $58 million an episode. $1 billion for the seasons. $1 billion fan fiction. Oh, this is a trash show. In the end, Halbrand is the only one survives. She starts to criticize him for it, but he says, hey, you got to survive. And they start to share their raft. We're not done with them. We're coming back to them because now, back to the test of strength. And if Elrond loses, he's banished forever from Dwarven lands. He loses. Long story short, of course, he's going to lose. Dwarves are hardier, physically stronger. He's not doesn't have the endurance of a dwarf. And now Durin's going to escort him out. Well, he says, well, can the prince escort me out? And this is where they're now going up on a giant-ass elevator. Okay, sure, fine. And then it's time to talk about our feelings. That's right, we've entered the CW portion of our show. I mean, this is full CW right here. Elrond is clueless as to why Durin is unhappy with him. So he starts pressing, and then Durin starts bitching and moaning that you haven't spoken to me for 20 years. I mean, literally, this is what he says, and it's CW nonsense.
You cannot barge into my mountain and demand I welcome you with open arms. You cannot claim that which you discarded. 20 years may be the blink of an eye to an elf. But I've lived an entire life in that time.
That's why I said earlier, you dirty bastards, you almost had me liking a character. Even though he shouldn't be there, shouldn't exist in this time frame, in this way, you almost had me liking Durin. And then you had to turn him into a whiny little bitch. Oh, you didn't see me get married. You haven't even met my children. a man. That is not a man. F this show. F this show in its ear. This is not what you do. This is not how you write a character, especially a dwarf. Let's emasculate a dwarf. Ah! Horrible CW nonsense. Let's talk about our feelings in an elevator. It's technically they're talking about their feelings in an elevator. Oh, and then Elrond is, I'm sorry. What can I do to make it up to you? Because Elrond still needs something from him, of course. Bargains his way into apologizing to his family. So now, there she is. There she is in all her glory. And she's also insufferable. She's another insufferable Whammons. Clearly runs the household there. Tells her husband what to do at every turn. And she invites Elrond to dinner because apparently Durin has an eternal man crush on him. He took care of a sapling, this and that he gave him. Tender, loving cared the sapling to grow in the dark. Then there's a really bad line. Love can endure dark. It's some stupid line about love is stronger in the darkness. It's sappy. It's bad. It's horrible writing. We get loads of it. It's just more bad writing in this show. It's terrible. It's horrible. And it makes no goddamn sense. And you ruin characters. A character that could have been good Durin is completely ruined now. Totally ruined. Don't care. One character I almost liked. One. Done. Eventually, Elrond's going to get his way, and Durin's going to listen to his request. Scene change. Back to castaway Galadriel, who is now basically browbeating Halbrand. You tell me about the enemy that you ran away from. They're orcs. You just said they're orcs. I want to know. You will tell me. I will do that. I'm basically in full-on insufferable bitch you very much mode. It's really, really horrible to watch. And we know that it's Sauron. That's the only amusing part. We know it's Sauron, so he's playing her, and it's great. I'm smiling. I'm only smiling because I know that she's getting played, and that's cool. I like that. She's getting played. Although, of course, we're not supposed to know that. We're not supposed to know Halbrand is Sauron. He's Sauron. Their conversation, argument, whatever you want to call it, is cut short. Here comes Storm that we've seen in the trailers. Back to what do we got here? Okay, yeah. Persian diversity Whammons runs back to her village and tries to convince everybody that there's trouble a-brewing. That whatever dug the holes in the other town, it's coming this way. But of course, shut up, woman. We're the patriarchy. You shut up. You go be quiet. And then we go back to her house where her teenage son, trying to grow his badass teenage mustache, has a temper tantrum because he thinks mice are under the floorboards and hits it with a poker, but it's actually an orc. And she comes home to find the house trashed, but she looks for him. He's hiding in a hole. He tells her to run and get help, but no, she doesn't run and get help. No, she's a powerful, brave, and stunning, strong Whammons. First, she hides, scared out of her mind. Then the orc comes out, and long story short, fight ensues. Hectic fight ensues where the boy jumps on it, stabs it with his scissors. She slaps it with something, and she throws the hot spice powder in his face, and the helmet comes off, and really bad practical effects orc, at least in my opinion. And the orc tosses him around a little bit, which, okay, that's good. But then it gets trapped or caught, and she stabs it with a saw, but then it pulls it free, and it's going to kill the boy. And I guess motherly mama bear strength, all right, but she charges it and cuts its head off, and then brings the head back to the patriarchy and demands her recognition that they have to leave. And maybe you can sort of buy into the whole thing if she doesn't end it with the Whammon smirk. Just had to get the Whammon's smirk in, didn't you? Well, now We are back to Halbrand and Castaway Galadriel, and the storm overwhelms them both. And this is so stupid, manufactured peril, because aside from next to Elrond, Galadriel has the thickest plot armor in this show. Nothing's gonna happen to her. She has to survive. So to have her, as she lashes herself to their makeshift mast and then has her sinking, and Halbrand dives down to save her, and then Sauron takes her dick in his hand to cut her free. Yes, I said that because he pulls the knife and then they've bonded. So it's just this stupid manufactured peril moment of what's gonna happen to Galadriel? She's fine because Sauron took her dick in his hand. It's okay. And then they're together on the raft. And that's all you get from them. Oh, now we get another bit of again, the wizard is Gandalf. Wizard's going to be Gandalf. Because here comes Nori and Berry Eater. They come back to the wizard in the middle of the night, who's staring at the stars. And they try to communicate him. They try to let him know that they're going to be leaving because the migration is happening. And he takes their lantern, which is apparently filled with fireflies. Okay, fine. And he breaks, and the fireflies are flying around, and then he starts to capture them. And in the way Gandalf whispers to a moth, go get the eagles, he starts whispering to the fireflies, and the fireflies form a constellation that Nori's never seen before. And suddenly she realizes he needs them. He needs them to guide him to those stars to get where he's going. And that's her destiny. Yeah. Cut to Khazad-dûm. We get King Durin IV berating his son for trying to trust elves, and we get a really lame reveal, yet not reveal, of Mithril, that the elves are only after the Mithril. And I'm saying that sarcastically because I don't want to say Mithril. This is Mithril. This isn't Mithril. This is Mithril. As in Mithril. It's all about me. This show's all about me. Me being these idiots. Got two more quick cuts. Black Diversity Elf is basically running through caverns. This might have happened earlier. Maybe I'm out of order. Doesn't matter. I don't care. It's the same kind of thing. This nonsense jumping around. Who knows when this happened? It doesn't matter because it happened. He gets cornered by the orcs and he gets pulled away because he's in a hole where he has nowhere to run. He's an idiot. He's stupid. He gets captured. Done with that. Now, we're back to... Who's next? Okay, yeah. We're back to his diversity baby mama. She basically has organized everybody's on the move. And she's going back to get her boy, but while the boy's in the house, he still has that blade of Sauron. It's not a Morgul blade, because those haven't been made yet, have they? I don't know. Lore guys, hit me up on that. But he discovers it activates by sucking in his blood. Ooh, scary. Well, then she claims him, and they're off going to the Elven Watchtower. One last moment, one last quick little cutscene to Galadriel and Sauron on a raft, and they're completely adrift. And here's somebody, you see a shadow, and it's a boat. Surprise, it's the Númenóreans. Duh. Episode. Two episodes down. 6 to go? Oh my goodness. 6 more weeks of this. What have we learned so far? This show is filled with bad acting. It's filled with disrespect to Tolkien's lore, Tolkien's legacy. The music is atrocious. You heard it, and it's misplaced in a lot of times. A lot of these tracks do not fit the situation. There is no Howard Shore in any of this. Yes, the second episode has the intro, which supposedly he collaborated with, and you can hear maybe a tone or two, but this ain't Howard Shore's scoring. Not at all. These characters are completely out of character. Those with names that are similar to characters you may know and love, they aren't behaving correctly. And then there's again, the lore. Let's go back to that. And I have questions about some things to talk about, but there was this. I didn't mention it during the main part of that last section because I just wanted to get through the narrative part of it. But this whole singing that the dwarves do, that Deeza does, to resonating. They're resonating. Is that real? Because that sounds made up. I would like somebody to tell me if that is real. I'm going to ask that question on the not the round table, sorry. Well, we can ask the round table, but I'm going to ask it on This is Mordor Country. Is that real? Because it sounds like they made it up just for Deeza. And speaking of Deeza, she's only probably going to get worse, but notice this right here. Closer. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's their idea of putting a beard on female dwarves. Because female dwarves in Lord of the Rings on Middle-earth have beards. Other dwarves in other franchises, no. They have beards. Putting a little bit of hair, I'm sorry. No. All you gotta do is go look at The Hobbit where they put female dwarves on the screen. They had full all the way down here. Little bit right here, I'm sorry, you fail. This whole thing is monumental fail. Nothing redeeming so far, on top of being boring. This entire second episode, walking and talking and walking, talking in elevators, talking at tables, talking at chairs, talking at sea. The first episode, little bad choreography with bad direction in the beginning, but rest, walking and talking, walking and whining, bitching and moaning. And it's not even interactive. They're not interacting with us at all. We're not being drawn in. I feel no empathy for any of these characters. I hate each and every single one of them. I told you, you had almost a chance, almost like Prince Durin, but then you turned him into a whiny bitch. Characters drive a show. Shows are successful when people love the characters. That's why Supernatural went on for so goddamn long, because people loved Sam and Dean Winchester. The show, take it or leave it at times, we love the characters. Shows, franchises, IPs, they work because people fall in love with characters. Lord of the Rings has some of the most beloved characters of all time. None of that is present in this show. None at all. But there's plenty of diversity, plenty of inclusion. Because that's what makes good storytelling. Checking the boxes. Ismael Cruz Cordova, he's a checkbox. Took him 7 tries, 7 months of auditioning to get that checkbox, but he got in there. This show is an abomination already. All the reasons I've listed. Primarily because they don't care. They don't care about Tolkien. They don't care about the fans. They've been spitting in our eyes since the promotional material began for this. Day one of the marketing, they called us names. Morfydd Clark calls us names. They hate you. They hate me. You know what? We don't need them. We have each other. We have actual Lord of the Rings. We have the Peter Jackson trilogy. We have the good stuff. They can't take that away from us. Buy your physical media. Make sure you have a copy. Buy the books. Read the books. Listen to the books. Share it with each other. Have fun with it. They can't take that away. We were here first. We're still going to be here. And we're especially going to be here this Saturday, September 3rd, 7:30 p.m. Well, every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. for Eastern. As long as Lord Rings of Power is going, join me and others for This is Mordor Country, a Rings of Power discussion panel. It'll be a rotation. Come join us every Saturday evening as we rip this show to shreds. I hope to see you there. Hope to see you at the next review. Take it easy, everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to get in touch with me, you can reach out to me at therentnerd@gmail.com. That email's for channel business only, so I check it on a daily basis. Also, you can find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS. And you can find me at Rumble and Odyssey, The Renaissance Nerd. Thank you again. See you next time.